Yeah, malaria acting. That was again. Some people, I guess, contract something and this happens to them, and then I guess other people take shit and they see stuff and they get to that point. Moving on.
Past solar plant in the Mojave Desert generates so much heat that birds flying overhead are instantly incinerated in mid-flight. Due to the plume of smoke that birds produce as they fall to the ground, workers at a state-of-the-art solar plant refer to them as streamers, which is, well, morbid. But hey, at least lunch every day is sorted, right? Number 94. By the way, before I say this is potentially my favourite fact in 101 Facts history. In China, the 1999 film The Sixth Sense was known simply as He's a Ghost. That's right, the title was a spoiler of the biggest thing in the whole film, the biggest plot twist ever, and it's in the title. Oh, China, what are we going to do with you? He's a ghost. Number 95. In 2013, the original Star Wars film was dubbed into Navajo, making it the very first film to have been dubbed into a Native American language. About time, guys. Number 96. Humans are the only mammals with breasts that are permanently enlarged. Good to know. I'm sure that fact will come in useful at some point in my life. Not that I have a disinterest in... but let's move on. Number 97. The jungles of Guam have around 40 times the amount of spiders as the neighbouring islands due to a lack of forest birds, which seals Guam's fate as a place I shall never ever visit. Number 98.
Thank you.
In 1897, the world's first LGBT rights organisation was formed, known as the Scientific Humanitarian Committee. The group gathered signatures for a petition to repeal the law that criminalised male homosexuality. One of the signatures was Albert Einstein. Number 90.
Amy, thank you for that cheer. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. Okay. There's some very interesting facts here.
99. The legendary daredevil Evel Knievel was fired from his first job at a mining company after he attempted to pop a wheelie in a bulldozer, which wouldn't have been so bad and maybe kind of cool had he not crashed into power lines and knocked out the electricity supply of an entire town. Number 100.
I actually saw a pretty interesting documentary about Evel Knievel. I think I saw it on YouTube. If you guys can check it out, he had a pretty interesting life. Yeah, this is an interesting fact that the man tried to pop a wheelie in a bulldozer. Who would have thought? But yeah, if you guys can check it out, please do it. Again, he led a pretty interesting life. I think moving on to these last two.
There's a rare form of brain damage known as 101 Facts. I'm just kidding. There's a rare form of brain damage known as visual anosognosia, or Anton Babinski syndrome, in which a person is provably blind as a result of damage to the brain's occipital lobe, but the individual is entirely convinced that they are still capable of seeing. Number 101! Almost 1 in every 5 people attempting to escape the police in LA during high-speed car chases actually manage to do so. There you go, there's some hashtag or octothrope inspiration for any of you criminal motherfuckers out there, although hopefully there's not many of you, and if you are, you're on my side, but just be nice people. Anyway, that was 101 random facts about anything and everything. Did you learn anything new today? I hope so, and did you enjoy this new-ish sort?
I most certainly did. That's crazy. Alright, let's get through this next one. So this is the video that goes together with this one, and it's the second part of the 101 facts.
Well, I don't need to tell you already, but hello, my name's Sam, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about, well, everything. Yes, this is 101 Facts About Anything and Everything, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, or To Anything to Anything, or I don't know what we've called the sequel yet, but basically, we need somewhere to put all our random facts that don't really fit in and need a place to belong. It's basically the 101 Facts equivalent of a My Chemical Romance concert. But which one of these two rascals was banned from China? Why was the invention of the first candy floss machine ironic? And why is everything so terrifying right now? Can an adult explain it to me, please? I don't think I can grown up properly. 2 out of 3 of these questions are going to be answered, so pull on a pair of random underwear, punch a random person in the face, and turn yourself into a random police station So random. As we count through 101 facts about anything and everything, Part 2, Electric Factaloo. Number 1.
Alright, the fact that... Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact that... The reason why I did the second one, why I added the second video to it, was because it said Electric Boogaloo on it, and I was like, yes, that's it. You got me there with the Electric Boogaloo part. If you don't know, I mean, I know it from It's Always Sunny. Yeah, with this video, we'll skim through it a little bit quicker. So I'll let the facts go. I'll let them go a little more. But if there's an interesting one that I'm most definitely stopping there, because I'll stop it because it'll be worth the discussion. Let's go.
The reason why the movie previews you see at the cinema are called trailers is because they used to be shown at the end of a movie. See, we're learning already, aren't we?
Yes, SG Charlie McDennis. Dude, I live for It's Always Sunny. That's my background. It's either The Office or It's Always Sunny. It's my background. If it's not okay, if I'm not watching you guys stream or someone streaming or something, I have It's Always Sunny in the background or The Office, and I just put them there, and I'll just skim through all the episodes. I have it on a hard drive, so I'll put them on a playlist, put them on VLC on a playlist, and I'll just have them random episodes of all of the seasons. And I'll go through the Evolution episode where Max says the whole Evolution skit with when it's like a court thing. I know that one by heart. But yeah. Oh, dude, and it's so, if you like that, it's like dark humor, but it's not like slapstick, but it's so funny. And sometimes, like, the thing is, it's their perception of things that are happening in real life, and they give it a twist to it, and all of the episodes are just, the majority of the episodes they're just golden. Some episodes, some seasons are not as good as the other ones. They have like 15 seasons, so some lack more than others that are a lot better. But all in all, the show is definitely worth watching. The McPoyles, yes. Yeah. Definitely watch it, Nate. It's worth it. Moving on.
Number 2. Zimbabwe's economy is in such a bad condition that at the start of 2030...
SG, that's why I always say hips and nibs. You gotta keep it sexy or else you don't eat. Cricket is probably one of my favorite characters in the whole show. Like, he's extremely funny. And his whole life span in the show and everything that's happened to him is just, it's golden. It's gold. Yeah, rickety cricket. Hell yeah.
The bank balance of the entire nation was roughly £138. Number 3. Former boxer and current flogger of a small electric grill, George Foreman, named all 5 of his sons George, which he states he did so they would always have something in common. That sounds so confusing. I mean, that's giving me a migraine, and I'm not even living in that house, you know? Number 4. Many of the personal checks that Marlon Brando wrote for people were never cashed. Why, I hear you ask? Well, because his signature was usually worth far more than the amount on the check itself. Number 5. Owing to a fairly egregious design flaw involving a lack of ventilation, owners of the Apple III computer who were experiencing issues with their machine were often told they needed to reseat the chips on the logic board. How would you go about this intricate maneuver? Well, you'd simply lift up the front of the computer about 6 inches and drop it again. Number 6. When it became obvious that Israel was going to win the 1978 Eurovision Song Contest, most Arabic countries abruptly ended their televised transmission of the competition. Jordan simply replaced the live broadcast with an image of daffodils and announced that Belgium had won. Spoiler alert, by the way, for this year, but Belgium has never ever won the Eurovision Song Contest. Number 7. A study conducted in 2013 claimed that every single one of the 14 billion publicly accessible websites are connected by 19 clicks or less. Don't try that out now, though, come on. Focus with me. Number 8. In 1989, the multinational mass media and entertainment conglomerate Disney forced 3 daycare centers in Florida to remove several Disney characters that had been included in murals on their walls. This was for copyright infringement. A greedy, overbearing corporation. Perish the thought. Number 9. In 1988, Freddie Mercury, along with comedian Kenny Everett and co-star Cleo Rocco, helped Princess Diana to dress up as a man so that she could go out clubbing with them without being harassed by the paparazzi. Number 10. The English comic actor Charlie Chaplin was so beloved for his decades-long career that when he received his honorary Oscar in 1972, he received a standing ovation that lasted for 12 minutes. Pff, big deal. I clapped non-stop for over an hour when Jennifer Lawrence won her Oscar. Some say I'm still clapping to this day. Number 11.
Okay, really quickly, that Marlon Brando one, that's extremely smart. His signature is definitely worth more than whatever's on that check. So, that was a smart thing to do. This past fact about, dang it, the one mentioning like Jennifer Lawrence and whatnot right before this one, that one was pretty crazy too. Yeah, these facts are... Yeah, Princess Diana dressing as a man. It makes sense. I don't think that she has been the only celebrity to that point that has had to go to those lengths to be able to, I guess, enjoy life. That's one of the things that comes with being a celebrity, that you can't just go out, and especially if you're that big, can't just go out like that. So yeah, she wanted to go dancing, and yep. Picture that. Just picture you bumping into someone. You're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. And that was Princess Diana. You just randomly like bumped into this person and you have no idea. That's insane. These are the King Angel Cold Hard Facts. Brought to you by Cannabis. Moving on.
In the 5-year period between 2009 and 2014, the Netherlands closed 27 prisons. Why would they do this? Well, they had a lack of criminals to fill them. Number 12. In 2004, researchers at Middlesex University found that ducks have regional accents. Ducks in London have to deal with a large amount of noise, producing short, loud quacks. Whereas those little duckers in rural Cornwall, living in calmer environments, have a slower, quieter quack. Number 13. The oldest actor to portray Hogwarts students in the Harry Potter films was Shirley Henderson, who portrayed an 11-year-old Moaning Myrtle despite being 37 years old. Number 14. The chemical element sulfur is bright yellow in its raw form. That being said, though, it melts into red liquid when sufficiently heated and burns with a blue flame, meaning it can produce all of the 3 primary colours. Number 15. In 2009, a morbidly obese Houston man called George Vera managed to smuggle an unloaded gun into jail by holding it in the folds of his body fat. Bear in mind, he had been searched several times, and the police only became aware of the weapon when Vera admitted it to the police hours later. Number 6.
Dude, that's some shit that you see like on Animaniacs or something like that. Like, what? Dude, you know how... Holy shit, that's insane. The whole rifle into jail. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that was insane right there. It's just like, I have so many questions about that one. Like, what part of, like, what flaps of, like, how big was this person? Like, to fit a rifle, he was able to successfully, after he was searched, and they didn't find anything. And he was able to go all the way to like the inside of jail with a rifle. Okay, so many questions, and I know they're not gonna be they're gonna remain unanswered. Yeah, dude. Those pigeons were awesome. Let me tell you something. They, now seeing it as an adult, they used to. Like their topics at times were very adult themed, and a lot of the conversations, even like the pigeons. Fun fact: I don't know if you guys remember this, but one of the pigeons was Joe Pesci. So let that sink in. Yeah, I used to love Animaniacs. they were pretty cool back then. I mean, still, because they revived it, but it was pretty cool. It's just that, yeah, like I said, they sometimes their topics were not for children. Even if it were kids that were watching it, it was definitely not supposed to be. Like, kids definitely, they were not understanding what they were seeing. But an adult, if they kept their eyes open to it, they probably understood. Moving on.
16. In 2012, the White House responded to a petition to build a literal Death Star, stating that they did not support the project for several reasons, such as the fact that the administration does not support blowing up planets, and that the estimated cost of $850 quadrillion was far too expensive. The fact that the proposed space station featured a fundamental flaw that can be exploited by a one-man starship was also problematic. Number 17. The face for the female CPR mannequin known as Rescue Anne was created in 1958 from the purported face mold of a young woman whose body was pulled out of the River Seine in 1880. As such, the woman is said to have the most kissed face in the world, despite never having been identified. Gross. Number 18. 75% of all the sesame seeds produced in Mexico end up in McDonald's burger buns. The remaining 25% just feel left out. Number 19. The University of Iowa once conducted an experiment in which 2-year-old kids were given toys that had been rigged to break as soon as they started playing with them. The children who displayed the most guilt were found to experience fewer behavioural problems later on in life. Another experiment conducted by me has found that those researchers were incredibly mean. Number 20. Contrary to the popular belief promoted by a certain comic book movie released in 2006 that Leonidas of Sparta was a hunky young man at the time of his death at the Battle of Thermopylae, he wasn't. He was actually around 60 years old. Number 21. Hugh Trenchard was a British soldier who was shot in the chest and spine during the Boer War, resulting in the loss of one of his lungs and the ability to walk due to partial paralysis. On the advice of his doctor, he travelled to Switzerland for the benefit of his remaining lung, where boredom led him to take up bobsledding. A major crash on the Cresta Run left Trenchard unconscious but realigned his spine, so when he awoke he was immediately able to walk again entirely unassisted. Number 22. Oh, my cover of September's terrible.
Damn. A mistake ended up being the best thing that happened to him because it realigned his spine. That's insane. Alright, moving on. Yeah, in hindsight it was pretty funny, that is true. I mean, he went on a bobsled. That's okay. More power to you. All right. And he had an accident and it realigned his spine. He was able to walk when he woke up again. The miracles of life.
In the 1930s, the 7th largest company in the entire world was the Irish brewing company Guinness. They have somewhat slipped down the rankings since then. Number 23. Tyler Bates, an American musician who composed the film scores for several large Hollywood films like Guardians of the Galaxy and Watchmen, also happens to be the guitarist for Marilyn Manson. Number 24. In the movie Titanic, Jack claims to have gone ice fishing on Lake Wissota in Chippewa County, which you can find in Wisconsin. This is despite the fact that the Titanic sank in 1912 and Lake Wissota is a man-made reservoir that wasn't created until 1917. Come on, James Cameron, stop fantasizing about blue things and do some research. Number 25. A study published in 2015 concluded that there are over 3 trillion trees on planet Earth, more than 7 times the amount of stars in the Milky Way. Number 26. Amazon River dolphins have been observed inserting their, I'm sure you can guess what, into each other's blowholes, constituting the only known example of nasal rumpy-pumpy in the animal kingdom. Kinky? Number 27. Owing to a history of, let's say, dubious behaviour, which has included being arrested for drunk driving, urinating in a janitor's bucket, and yelling expletives at a portrait of the former United States President, Bill Clinton, the Canadian pop star Justy Biebs is banned from entering China, which indicated that their decision was done to purify the nation. Number 28. The average cumulus cloud weighs roughly 500,000 kilograms. Congratulations, guys, you can now fat shame a cloud. Number 29.
3, 2, 1. Go, baby, go, baby, go.
The fleeting but extremely painful headache you get when eating ice cream is commonly known as brain freeze. But hilariously, the phenomenon actually has a long, difficult to pronounce scientific name, which is... oh god, here we go. Sphenopontine ganglioneuralgia. Number 30. Only 2% of people have green eyes because it's the best eye colour only reserved for the best people. Interestingly, the rarest pairing of eye and hair colour is red hair and blue eyes. Are you one of the freaks who is both red-haired and blue-eyed? Let us know in our fancy YouTube poll. Number 31. In 1939, the author Ernest Vincent Wright self-published Gadsby, a novel comprised of over 50,000 words, none of which contain the letter E. This is known as a lipogram, a type of constrained writing in which certain letters or groups of letters are avoided, in order to make writing a novel even more difficult for yourself.